Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something I think we all see pretty much every day, those emails.
Hmm.
The ones that sound super polite, but sometimes they just make you grit your teeth a little.
Oh, definitely. The fake friendly ones, as our sources are calling them.
Exactly. So today we're unpacking what our sources say about the hidden meanings, behind that language.
Mm.
The goal really is to give you the tools to figure out what's actually being said.
And maybe even how to navigate that whole subtle art yourself.
Right. Because it's weird how the words on the screen don't always match the
Yeah.
the vibe.
Yeah, it really is. And the material we're looking at today digs into why some of those perfectly nice phrases can leave you feeling a bit, well, uneasy.
So what's the real intention? That's the question.
That's what we're trying to uncover.
Okay, so our sources break this down into like three tiers of fake friendly email speak. Tier one is called polite, but dead inside.
Ah, yeah. Sounds ominous.
It does. These are the phrases that sound okay, helpful even, but they often imply the sender's just done.
Right. So there's that surface politeness. It's conventional, but underneath,
Mm.
you kind of sense they want out.
Yeah, like distance or just wanting the conversation to end.
Let me know if you need anything else. Classic example. Seems supportive.
Seems supportive, but the translation our sources give, it feels more like, please, please never email me about this again.
Yeah, exactly. It's that polite closing line.
That doesn't feel genuine. More like a very nicely worded, we're done here.
Mm-hmm. What do you think drives that? Is it just being overloaded?
Could be overload, yeah? Or maybe just wanting to keep things looking professional even when they're, like, internally screaming.
That makes sense. It's about managing workload by, subtly discouraging more back and forth.
And maintaining that decorum, I guess.
And there's another good one. Thanks for your understanding. You usually see this one, well, when the news isn't great.
Oh, yeah. And our sources suggest the hidden message there is basically, look, you will accept this. It's polite, yeah, but there's this undercurrent of expectation, almost a demand, but wrapped up in fake gratitude.
Definitely. It feels like they're thanking you for something you haven't even agreed to understand yet.
Does the context matter much with that one?
Oh, absolutely. If it comes after some bad news or maybe a decision you're not going to like, that thanks for your understanding feels less like appreciation.
And more like a way to just shut down any argument before it starts.
Pretty much. Okay, so moving up the scale a bit. Tier 2. Passive aggressive. The sweetest venom.
Ooh, okay. Now it gets spicy.
Yeah, here the politeness starts to have a little bit more of an edge.
Right, like we've all gotten the just circling back
Yeah.
email. Sounds fine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Innocent.
Totally innocent on the surface, but like, why are they circling back? Usually because you haven't replied, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the message underneath, according to our sources, is often basically, I know you saw my first email, answer me.
It's that little nudge, but it feels impatient. Thinly veiled impatience.
Yeah. Is there even a way to use circling back without sounding like that? Genuinely, I mean.
That's tricky, maybe if you're really specific about why, like circling back because I have new info or something.
Perhaps. Otherwise, yeah, it's hard to avoid that slight nagging feeling.
Okay, what about, as mentioned below,
Mhm.
or as per my last email? Sounds helpful pointing things out.
But the interpretation our sources point to, it's often much less kind, more like,
Read the email, you fool. Something like that.
basically, yeah, read, you illiterate walnut, was the colorful phrase used.
Wow, okay.
It's a perfect example of a polite reminder carrying a real sting, like questioning your ability to read or pay attention.
Yeah, you feel instantly defensive. What kind of workplaces do you think encourage this stuff?
Feels like maybe places where being direct is frowned upon, so people find these roundabout ways to show they're annoyed.
Voice confrontation, I suppose. Okay, brace yourself. Top tier time.
Uh-oh.
HR worthy.
Yeah.
Smiling while stabbing.
Oh.
This is where the fake friendliness really becomes a weapon. Like for control or hiding disagreement.
Right, and this touches on how power dynamics can sneak into emails. Think about, I appreciate your perspective. Sounds great, right? Open, inclusive.
Sounds super collaborative. But the translation our sources offer, often it's more like, you are so incredibly wrong and possibly annoying, but I have to be professional.
Yeah, that over-the-top politeness that just feels hollow, almost patronizing, like they're patting you on the head while dismissing your idea.
Exactly. And then the big one. Let's align on this.
Ah, yes. Suggests teamwork, getting on the same page, mutual agreement.
But the implied message, based on our material, is often just, We're going to do this my way. Get on board.
It's a power move disguised as collaboration. Makes you wonder why even use those words if the decision's already made.
Good question. So to make this real, our sources mentioned a listener story. Someone replied, "Great point," to a genuinely terrible idea from their boss. Just being polite, you know.
No, what happened?
Well, the sources say the boss just took that great point and ran with the awful idea,
Ouch.
leaving the poor person who was just trying to be agreeable stuck dealing with the mess.
Wow. That really shows the danger, doesn't it? Misinterpreting that fake positivity or even using it carelessly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we're getting better at spotting this stuff. But what if you want to sound helpful without, actually doing anything?
The art of helpful inaction. Our sources cover that too. First up, the redirect move.
Right. This sounds clever, making it seem like you're helping, but really just passing it on.
Exactly. The classic example is, Jane might know more about this.
And the translation, Jane now has to deal with your problem. And she might hate me for suggesting it.
Huh, pretty much. You pass the buck, look helpful, but Jane gets the unwanted task. Maybe create some awkwardness there too.
Sneaky. Okay, next tactic.
The overwhelm tactic. This is for saying no politely.
The busy excuse. I'd love to help, but my plate is just so full right now. Sounds relatable, apologetic.
But the real message is simple. No. Full stop.
No, I can't help, and please don't ask again.
Exactly. It shuts down the request effectively without being overtly unhelpful.
We all use that, probably.
Oh.
And then the classic escape. The vague promise.
Oh, yeah. I'll look into it.
Music to no one's ears, really.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean, according to the sources?
They had a funny take. I will glance at my lunch instead. Basically, I'll think about this maybe, possibly, if I have zero other things to do, which is never.
It sounds like action, but commits to absolutely nothing.
Zero commitment. No, there's a pro tip tied to this. Using thanks in advance, strategically.
Ooh, how does that work? Adding it to a request?
Yeah. Apparently, it subtly pressures the other person. You're thanking them before they've even agreed.
So it implies you expect them to do it. Creates an obligation.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little psychological nudge. Can be quite effective, our sources suggest.
Interesting. Now, it's crucial to remember this isn't universal, right? Cultural differences are huge here.
Oh, massively. What's just normal, polite phrasing in one place can seem totally fake or even rude somewhere else.
Got any examples from the sources?
Yeah, a few interesting ones. Like in American English, being super excited to connect about just a routine meeting.
Might actually signal the opposite, like dread.
Sometimes, yeah, the over-the-top enthusiasm can feel a bit suspicious, apparently.
Okay. What about British English?
The classic understatement. Saying something is an interesting approach can often mean...
This is absolutely dreadful.
You got it! This is garbage, was the suggested translation. It's the dryness that carries the punch.
And Australia. They mentioned no worries.
Yeah, which often is genuinely laid back. But the sources suggest sometimes it can have a hint of, okay for now, but I will remember this.
So even casual stuff can have layers depending on where you are. Fascinating.
Definitely. And speaking of managing things, there was a listener hack mentioned.
Oh yeah, what was it?
Preemptively apologizing for delays in emails, even if you're actually on time.
Wait, really? Why?
It's like managing expectations, softening them up. So even if you are prompt, you've already kind of apologized for potentially not being prompt.
Huh. That's clever. Like a preemptive strike against impatience.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, so now that everyone listening is basically a fake-friendly code breaker.
Time for some field work. The sources proposed a listener challenge, Fake-Friendly Spy.
Love it. Okay, what's the mission?
3 parts. First, spot one fake-friendly phrase out there this week. The example was, let's sync.
Which can mean?
Prepare for a monologue from me.
Huh. Okay, part 2.
Try the redirect trick. Suggest Mark can definitely assist, knowing full well Mark might not be thrilled.
Risky. And part 3?
Deploy thanks in advance. Put it on any request, basically,
Yeah.
and just watch what happens.
Observe the subtle sigh. Got it.
But they also shared a warning story, right? About it backfiring.
Yeah, someone replied, happy to help, to a totally unreasonable request.
And ended up buried under more work because they sounded so willing.
Whoops. So, sincerity, even fake sincerity, can bite you. Good reminder.
Definitely. Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. You've now waded through the murky depths of fake-friendly emails.
We've looked at the different tiers, the polite but dead inside, the passive-aggressive,
HR-worthy stabbing smiles.
and the tactics for looking helpful while doing nothing, plus those cultural twists.
So hopefully you're feeling a bit more equipped now, better at reading between the lines.
Yeah, and maybe thinking about how these subtle cues affect workplace dynamics generally. It's not just about the email itself, is it?
Not at all. It's about understanding those unspoken messages. So think about how this might change how you read your inbox tomorrow.
Or even how you write your own emails.
Exactly. What's one thing from all this that really sticks out for you? Something to maybe mull over next time you hit send.